Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? Everybody doing okay? I'm assuming. It's Friday, the end of another work week for the vast majority of us. Yes, if it's today going to be the final day for you for work, you get the entire weekend off. Saturday and Sunday, you get to do those, the other place of work, which usually is your home. Yeah, that's where you get to do all else you have to do. You understand? So good morning. GT with you folks. It's to the point for today, Friday, the 24th day of February. Let me say welcome to our audience via GBN TV. Good morning. Once again, hope you're doing A-OK. Those of you who are viewing via GBN TV this morning, a part of the island, and then our sister islands that you are viewing, wish you a lovely day. Let me say good morning to those of you via K105 Classic Radio. Yeah, you're listening. Whether you're driving along the Relations Road, please be a defensive driver as much as possible. And yes, don't get too taken up with the other things around you. Pay attention to the road and look out for the folks who drive. I've been hearing with the accidents and so forth happening a whole lot these days. And try to be a defensive driver. And I could certainly save your life and others. Let me say good morning to those of you who are viewing by our social media platforms also, whether it's the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. Welcome to the point. We're going to have an open line today, so let's discuss stuff this morning. Just a simple way of saying, let's discuss some stuff this morning. What's been plaguing you, what you've been having problems with, what you feel good about. That's the option for you to do that this morning here. So we are around for the next hour, and I'll be accommodating your phone calls. 435-2041. That's a number you can use to certainly be part of the program this morning. All right, so let's get set. I'm seeing already seen a caller on the line. Let's go over and say good morning. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and how are you?
I'm doing pretty fine. What about you this morning?
I am doing wonderful, thank you.
Okay, go right ahead, but let's see what's up with you this morning.
What I want to talk about is the quarry in Mount Hartman and the dust and the interest that the ministers are playing in protecting the citizens of the area.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to make contact with the Minister of Health, Mr. Lacrette.
Yes.
I spoke to his secretary, Ms. Paul, and she told me that that's not in his area. He told me to speak to Mr. I left a message to have him call me back, and I have not received a call back. I spoke to Mr. Ken James' secretary, who they told me is the environmental health. I spoke to his secretary. I left a message, my phone number to get a call back. No one called me back.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke directly with Andy Williams. He stated that he experienced the dust a couple weeks ago, so he understands what we are going through. If these ministers are not willing to seek our interests as citizens, who is willing to do that? I mean, the dry season has started. Last year, between the time of August, so we had a lot of rain, which we normally don't have in this area. We had a lot of rain, so the dust wasn't bad. But right now, the dry season is on. The wind is very high. And we are getting the dust. I mean, these people are running their project or whatever they're doing from Sunday to Sunday. They start maybe about 8 o'clock and don't finish until 7 and 8 at night. So we go through that process. We wake, sleep, eat in dust. And none of these ministers are willing to come forward and talk to us. I spoke to a minister about maybe like October time frame. And you know what he said to me? That is a private company. We have nothing to do with it. This is the number. You call them and talk to them. That is the response. And I Kenny James. I think that is so disgraceful that we have ministers who are supposed to be representing us, and they're not interested in doing anything about it. What is the problem? You can just have anybody come from anywhere, do anything, and to hell with the citizens. I mean, are they thinking about the long-term effects of this dust? You have things like bronchitis. You have things like silicosis, pneumonia, just to name a few for the long-term effect of the situation we have here. But I mean, even give us a break on the Sundays. I mean, these people run all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and they're running on 7, 8 at night. Give us a break. We would like to meet with one of the ministers or all of them and talk to them and for them to see what we are putting up with down here in the Mount Hartman part of Lansing area. It is disgraceful. Thank you.
Thank you, callers. Thank you, callers, so much. And I do understand the callers applied there. It could be a very uncomfortable situation to be part of, to be living in also. I certainly hope those in authority will really, really take upon themselves to look into the matter, talk to the whoever. As she mentioned, she said it's a private company that is running it, but government could play a part. It's the health of citizens that is very important, so they could play a part to see how some kind of solution can come up to remedy the situation in some way or the other. Let's go back to the phone line and entertain another caller. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Yes, Mr. Telesford, good morning. Greetings. How are you?
Doing well, sir. What about you?
I'm quite all right by the grace of God. Listen to me. But that sister has a plight on her hand. Because I tell you, it's not an easy thing to,
I agree.
Having walked through, seen that plant set up and everything in its initial stage, it was to build the airport. Well, the major one, because it had been a quarry operated, was difficult. The people down there really did suffer during the years of the construction because you had to be crushing rocks. And I can imagine the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult, but...
Some solution needs to be
something had to come up. Whether it be some timing, or some sort of lapses where these people can have a respite and so on, a respite as the case might be. Yeah, but it's a difficult situation because we had to crush stones, Anyway, two major things, Mr. Telesford. First, yesterday even there was on the news a matter came through. It had to do with I saw, where somebody saw the bridge and Pearls, the Simone Bridge and Pearls, in a state of disrepair again, and comments were made about it and so on. But I don't want to dwell on the disrepair. I want to dwell on a statement that was made at the end of the presentation, which said, this bridge has been listed as an Akron panel bridge. There's nothing further from the truth. And I would like to suggest to your people and so on, your news people, that they do research when they're making these statements on the air. Akron is only one of the 1,000 or more companies that produce these bridges, these metal structures. That bridge is known and registered in the United Kingdom since 1941 as a Bailey Bridge. The inventor, the man who drew the first designs on an envelope, a man called D.C. Donald, some D.C. Bailey. And this bridge, as a matter of fact, is known as the best war bridge ever. The first time it was really put into use in 1942 in the British Expeditionary Force, not expeditionary, the British forces in Tunisia. That bridge is called a Bailey Bridge. The first installation of these bridges in Grenada was in 1977. And I was all part of the operations working with the company that established it. It's not an Akron bridge. Akron is only one of the 1,000 or so more companies. So you see, what my point is this, when you give people spurious information, I mean false information, they go and we learn nothing and we know more the wiser. The second thing is this. Yesterday, even also in the news, Mr. Telesford, I rung up a little faster here. I heard the so-called Honorable Minister for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. I had to laugh. Listen, this chap seemed to be more confused than a flammer in a red ant's nest. I hear that he wants to take over, and he wants to take over his party's position as General Secretary, and he wants to put MIT in there so that he can mobilize to get projects more advanced and more projects, and he feels himself in a more high profile. This chap doesn't understand that one of the major problems that have destroyed this country over the years is that of mixing party tea business with government business. Sir, they're two different things. That attitude that you're promulgating there is what has ruined this country. Separate your party business and your Congress and your whatnot from the government's business, the state business. I urge you, let us try in the first instance to reform the mentality of the people. I know you all aim towards transformation, but as a mechanic I learned that before you reform, you have to pardon. Before you transform, which is what you see, you have to reform so that you set the basis and understanding in the minds of the people who have to do the work so that you can see transformation. I want you all to get that straight. And don't you shoot yourself in your foot so early. Think of it. Suck that little lollipop. I'm urging you all. Have a nice day, will you, Mr. Telesford, sir?
Thank you also. So have yourself a great day, and thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, open line edition, 4 to the point. Let me say good morning and then hi to all of you who are on the Facebook page. And of course, soon I'll be getting to your contributions that you will be making. Certainly we'll read them out here or there. Let's go back to the phone line and entertain another caller. Let's see what's up with this caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, one question is the quarry.
Mm-hmm.
I know quarry is a place where people dig dust from it. Why is it that people living in that area? Because if it's a place to just dig for dust or what they just do there, people are supposed to be living in that area. Eh, Mr. Telesford?
Well.
Because too much of dust. Quarry is a place where they dig in and breaking stone, breaking dust and breaking back.
Well, I'm assuming it's maybe not in the quarry itself, but probably in close proximity.
Well, in the vicinity, because it's just flying. You know?
Well, caller.
It's a place for people to live in the area around there.
All right. Have a good morning, caller. Thank you so much. Well, in these days and time, folks, find various areas where they would like to live and become an area where they dwell. So I can't say why would they do that. Folks will, the land or so maybe have came available. They purchase, they build a home, and sometimes it may be a little bit uncomfortable in the area that you're at. But certainly do understand with the caller before or first caller, which she was talking about in terms of the dust situation. It's just that something could be done to alleviate it in some way or the other, and give them a little time to, of course, get some peace. All right, let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome. Good morning to you, caller.
Hallelujah. Thanks for the guy. Hello, you're doing a very good job, Lee. I must say, I need to say, I got the Prime Minister, the chair is given. Very good. And I want to say that I intercede in that, very interested in that government. I'm interested in that government. You're interested in that government. I'm interested in that parliamentary, interested in you. I don't know your personal. I put it on the ground. I'm interested in you. And God say, you're interested in losing charity. God is doing something in that nation. God is doing something in that world. Hey. Brother, you're doing something good. You can encourage you to. Them promote a good thing for the Prime Minister.
All right, caller.
God is doing something like that. That's very good. God is good. Love you. Life is very joy. Big no.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. And let's see if I could grab some of the comments via the Facebook page before we go back to the phone line. Deanna is saying, I agree with Citizen Roller. Minister Andy Williams should be rightly advised of such. Ernesto is saying, GT, good morning. Good morning to you also, sir. Have yourself a good one. Saying good morning. We have Joan saying good morning. We have Cynthia saying good morning. And Alista is saying, how long have this quarry been in operation? And probably someone who knows more details about it could probably give us some advice on that, the length of time that's been in existence. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. I'm calling on behalf of the pension the Prime Minister said he was paying. The Prime Minister was paying. The Prime Minister said that he was paying the pension, but some of the people got pension and some never get. You have people that work in the Grenada police post for 31 and 34 years, there is a RC, and they don't get $1. Early in the morning you're working, all 4 and 5 and 6 in the morning, and they don't give us $1.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was trying to kind of decipher where the caller is coming from. Let's grab some more of the comments via the Facebook page this morning before we go back to the phone line. And we have a PLA saying, what came first, the quarry or the homeowners? In the absence of an effective land use policy, these things happen. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning. I agree with the absence of the land use policy is causing a lot of problems because you find mechanic garage will just shoot up in the middle of area where people are living. You find the quarry there. The Sandino plant again is another cause of dust for the people in the Mount Hartman area. So yes, the land use policy. Yes. I thought that when they did the industrial park, that would help, not with the quarry, but that would help, with some people like mechanic garage and so going there. But it don't seem to it didn't help that much. We keep seeing the situation. But going back to Mr. Rollo and the history of Grenada, I am constantly worried that the history of Grenada is not taught properly, and our story is a nice story, In recent times, with the story of slavery, you are hearing people who are speaking on our behalf, describing Grenadians as African descendants, and we know that's not true, because our history did not start with the transatlantic slave trade. Our history started, the recorded history of us started with the Kalinago people. Right. People are still digging up artifacts and so from the Kalinago people. They're the ones that taught us about basket, about fishing with nets, about moving with canoes and so. Right? Okay. And then the French, Grenada was fully French. When you hear we say can, I can do that. For can't, as the British would want us to say can't. But because we were French, if you Google the sound of Mama Can, the pronunciation of Mama Can, you would see K-Y-A-N in French. Yes. Can. You understand where I'm going with that?
I'm getting your drift.
Yes. So I'm saying the French has left their footprints on us. Everybody have left, all the people who came. That's why we did that book in school, the people who came. But we are being taught that our history started with the transatlantic slave, and all of us came from Africa. There were white people on the plantation, and a lot of them were described as poor whites after slavery, and they went in Grenada here, they formed the Mount Morris area, but they were pure, P-U-R-E, white people. They did not come from Africa, but they were part of the whole slavery thing. But back to the slavery thing, do you know that slavery started with the coming of the world? The Bible has recorded slavery. We want to be careful who we blame for slavery as opposed to who we praise for stopping it. You understand? Because slavery is recorded in the Bible. It was okay then to give somebody some slaves for a gift, and so on, So we want to be careful that we don't create hatred in modern times. When I listen, I find that we are creating, there's a subtle message going out there that we should hate the modern queen and king and, for slavery. But as Peter David said, we met slavery as an economic outfit. That is what the people knew then. That is what they knew then. But as time evolved and people realized, no, that's not a correct thing, then we had emancipation and they cut it off, and we are still working now on how to settle it. But I find what I'm picking up is that we are blaming the modern people for slavery, which I stand to be hated, but I'm saying again, it's not correct if you want to understand our history, who we are as a people. You see, Mr. Rollo corrected one piece that went not so correct. And again, when somebody in the past was talking about that very bridge, they said it's a Simon bridge when it should be Simon, because there is no place in Grenada called Seamon. The whole area is Simon, but it's pronounced Simon, like Simon Bolivar. Yeah? So we have all this little confusion between us that we must get right before we document and preach it to the public. And so I'm just throwing in that, okay?
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning.
All right.
Thank you so much. 435-2041, we drew for a break. Let's take that break. On return, we take more of your phone calls and go to the Facebook page and grab more of your comments. We're coming right back.
Last week on All Climate Reality.
One of the major greenhouse gases are the fluorinated gases, the CFCs, or the chlorofluorocarbons, the hydrochlorofluorocarbons, and the hydrofluorocarbons. So we call them CFCs, HCFCs, and HFCs. These are essentially what we call fluorinated gases. And they make up about 2% of all greenhouse gases. In Grenada, we use them extensively in the refrigeration and air conditioning sector as refrigerants that keep our atmosphere cool and refrigerate our commodities. These gases, if we allow them to be continued to be used as they are now, can have significant implications for our environment through emissions and the contributions they make towards global warming.
The solar systems are one of the lowest costs and the highest benefit bankable ways you can reduce your energy footprint, reduce your carbon footprint.
Join us this Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. as our panel discuss agriculture and climate change. Our Climate Reality on GBN TV channel 7 and 11, K105 FM, and all our social media platforms. Compliments Republic Bank Limited, Hubbard's, and Classic Lighting.
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Let me say welcome back, listeners and viewers, this morning to The Point for Today, Friday, the 24th day of February. Welcome to all the listeners and viewers. Before we go back to the phone line, let me see if we could entertain some of the comments via the Facebook page this morning. And this comment is from one of the listener, viewer via the Facebook page. And they're saying, thanks for the lesson, caller. And the way we speak is embedded in our history. We not British. And there's also another comment here where they're saying, thanks for sharing that. All I hear is African, is Africa we come from. And let's take another comment here. Once again, as a Grenadian living in the diaspora, I've been listening to news and watching some of the things being posted on social media. And we have to be careful of the things we put out there, because we can be damaging the image of Grenada in the name of opposition and of opposing for opposing's sake. We have to remember that tourists visit a country based on stuff posted on that country or countries. and we have journalists in Grenada in part of the who's part of the practice. I guess that's the way the conversation is going. So I'm calling on those who are involved in bringing down Grenada to stop it now. It's not a good image for Grenada and our tourism. Any other Mr. McGrath before we go back to the phone line this morning? I must say thanks to the lady for the knowledge of our country. Knowledge is power, and some of the leaders want all the power over the people that they have never built back the liberty. Let's grab a caller this morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Greetings. How are you?
Not bad, sir. Good morning to you.
Thank God, if I can briefly make 3 or 4 points.
Go right ahead.
One is that, a premise first is that we must understand that the average person in society, and in particular those who call to your programs, programs such as yours, I see them as unsung heroes. We try to gravitate to persons who write, who are in the current affairs of status. And so, by extension, I'm wondering, those in authority, what constructive input that they generate from the comments and opinions and facts that are shared on programs such as yours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, point one, I don't want to criticize or to say how institutions such as yours, the Grenada Broadcasting Network, go about their management and programming. But some persons have been voicing, some concerns. But I just want to mention one that I want to recommend to you. Especially when you have the police on your program, what can happen all about. There are 2 important advertisements concerning traffic, police, and how the pedestrian as well as the drivers have to handle the road. And to me, this advertisement comes more on the TV or on the Facebook channel. It does not play on the radio. It's a different ad. Now, there's a concern all over about the accidents, and how the drivers go about. I want to suggest that with your programming, that in particular, this very important advertisement be played regularly on the radio station, because the same bus drivers, some of them, most of them will not have this Facebook while driving, television, but they need this type of education, this message. So I want to, just for what it's worth, to encourage you to share this advertisement. And it is even looking more ugly, in my opinion, when you had the police then on Thursday, and some 2 weeks ago they were talking about traffic. And these 2 nice advertisements came up, but sadly it was not played to correspond to what they were saying on the radio. That one. 2 is that persons as who have called before, the lady's voice, I think I know her, a past worker of your entity, I guess, and a strong historian, journalist, and person like Brother Rolo. I want to suggest to this particular lady in particular, this lady, that I hope she's putting her historical facts and ideas together in a document, a book. Many of our stalwart people are dying. This is how part 1 and so on die. And the young people, what they're getting, forgive me for saying it that way, garbage. And this garbage is transformed as gospel. And that's how our society going and declining in morals and information. And those in authority, the higher powers, those who go into the law, those who go into politics, they use these simple-minded persons to get what they want. I want to say by extension, I said it before in different ways, the school must rearrange the curriculum, in particular this SBA and special project, which they force on our young children, especially primary school. Forget, in what it comes, what CXC is saying, and have this SBA focus on our local scenario. Let them organize a program, and I hope this message reaches to them. As I said, I don't know what happened to your program. These people and them listen to it. Let them send people, the children, have special project design, for example, to go to, I think her name is Sister Maguire, to go to Sister Gloria Payne Banfield, to go to the gentleman who often call about mechanical work about the airport and quarantine point, to understand the history. Look, the correction that was made by Mr. Rolo, even from your news item. So the young generation have been bombarded with Trump introduced the whole idea of fake news. We have to look at that if we want to have a different society. So I will end to say, and I said it before, leading institutions as years and prominent persons in society, they are the ones who generating the decay in our society. And I say, what your station, what you do, you have about 2 or 3 different channels. And you have one dedicated just for the young people. So when important programs such as this taking place, all of the young people will get the more sensible information. They go with the soca and the Jamaican music that is banned in Jamaica but played in Grenada. When we say we have a special channel and ask me Jeremiah to go and have our gospel thing on the gospel station, it means we are not catering for the immorality in society. So the young people and other people can go and do what they want. And I will end by saying, good program you had yesterday with the religious parties who distributed Bibles. And I want to encourage them. I applaud that. I can remember in my days they had 3 New Testament, the Gideon International, I think. But I'm amazed and surprised, I think, just as you, how is it that people start selling these Bibles? So I want to get in touch with these people, let them know, organize the distribution in a more effective manner through the schools. So that through the schools, every student can get one, and through the churches. So this thing about selling of the Bibles, which should not be sold, cannot be materialized. So I hope the substance of what I said, especially with the moral, and I send a challenge to Sister Maguire. Many months now I have it in mind to say, let's start putting facts together, and our generation going down. Ministry of Education, before these people who have information go out the scene, send the young children to these people to do some research and to document so that our history and whatever it was can be what it should be. And I thank her very much for saying, even Egypt time in the Bible, we have to talk about slavery. So people, those authorities want to just lead people astray and have tribalism in our country. About reparation, all sorts of things with false, fake information. Thank you very much for entertaining me. I hope.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. It's certainly welcome. You made some very interesting points there. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's enough people to get on to the point this morning, the open line. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning, and you're so welcome. Good morning.
Morning, are you in there, Vicky?
You're loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Yes. First of all, I would say that there are many of us who have never heard about the name Frantz Fanon. That Caribbean.
Could you repeat the name? Could you repeat the name? I didn't get it.
Frantz Fanon.
San Fanon.
Frantz
Fanon.
Yeah, F-R-A-N-T-Z, I think is the Frantz.
All right, got it now.
Fanon.
Mm-hmm.
He's being celebrated throughout Africa right now because of the contribution he made to the understanding of the dehumanization of the African man. And it's amazing how some people who may think they learned would come and continue that process of continuing to dehumanize our people. He wrote a book called The Wretched of the Earth, and also the book called Black Skin, White Mask. And this is what we do. I mean, we are really black-skinned people with white masks. We call ourselves Catholics. We call ourselves Anglicans. We call ourselves Adventists and all these kind of things. And then also we also go to court and swear in His Majesty Court. We have Royal Grenada Police Force and all of that. And we pretend that we are not. In fact, they call us Anglo-Caribbean. Anglo, because we are part of the British Commonwealth. I mean, people, when I hear people speak and they try to misrepresent the truth, because I ask the question, who defines what is who and what is our history? I listened to a conversation in the South African Parliament recently in which the deputy speaker was telling the leader, Julius Malema, that, look, somebody was stabbed in the history of South Africa is where there was somebody stabbed in the parliament. And he said, no, as far as I'm concerned, our history began, as far as the parliament is concerned, in 1994. And we have to put things in context. We can't deny that different people have passed through this place, but whose history we have to celebrate? That is the thing, that is the question. Whose history? Do we celebrate the genocide of the native people that was met here who were not even recognized? We are told that these people discovered, those people from abroad discovered here. These are the kind of thing we have to deal with. So I would say that history is something that has different interpretations based on who is coming from. In the South African Parliament again, no, in political thing, I heard the Afrikaners saying, we cannot live with the black people because they're uncivilized, they're this, they're that. And you have the same people who in Europe, the people who are led by this Zelensky, or whatever his name, are saying in the UK now, those who escape in the UK are saying they feel uncomfortable and threatened by the presence of people of darker skin in the British schools. So we have to understand. And when people talking about people and gender and hatred, I think they need to check themselves. We are afraid to challenge the things that have been embedded in us, whether it's through trauma, through language, everything. I mean, sometimes it feels me when I think the stupidity that we engage in as if it's knowledge, and as Shakespeare said, where ignorance is bliss, it's still folly to be wise. And I'll stop here because I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution, caller. You're so welcome. Have a great day, and certainly hope you have a great weekend. We drew for a break, folks. Let's take it. We're coming right back.
Wait to see my granddaughter.
Then you have things like, man, you must come back, you know. We have the low folder.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. Good morning once again. It's To The Point for today, Friday. Let's go to the Facebook page. Let's grab some of the comments before we entertain another caller. And let's take this one from Barbara. She's saying Simone was the name of the building, and Simon is the name of the place. That she's making the distinction between the two there. Let's take this one from May, and the individual is saying, which came first? The quarry, the residents, or the quarry? Don't be surprised that it's surprised the residents, and we are not asking to have the quarry shut down. We are asking for them to have some sprinklers, better working hours, give us a break, especially on Sunday, operating between the hours of 8 in the morning until 7 at night. Have a consideration for the residents, and the wind is high and the dust moves everywhere. And I guess that individual is concerned pertaining to the very first caller we had this morning who was talking about the dust situation in the quarry area in the Manhattan area there. So let's grab another caller as we go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome to The Point.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, sir. Good morning to you.
Am I hearing correctly people talking about slavery and the reparation? Am I hearing clearly? Because the first country that fought for the freedom was Haitians. They didn't get it. They fought for it. They shed blood for it. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We had some Haitians here. Officially, the reason why we sent them back because we couldn't take care of them. But I heard people talking about they like Obia, they didn't too much of Obia, and they this and they that. And I was shocked. Because in our country here, you have people going by Pastor King daily. So if Grenadians don't like Obia, how come Pastor King is so busy? Yeah? My second point is that
are you assuming they're going there for that purpose? Are you stating that?
No, I'm not saying that. He's busy. If he ain't busy, I mean, they're not going to be because to me, they're trying all kind of tricks. Some people.
All right.
Let's look at Obia a little bit there. I'm just saying that I love my Haitian people. I met Haitians, I have Haitian friends, and I'm not talking about on Facebook and WhatsApp. I'm talking about personal friends with Haitians. Yeah? I've even tasted Haitian meat already. So I know what Haitian is like. But to see that we talking about we can't take care of Haitians, a few Haitians, who fought for the freedom. And here in Grenada, we're talking about the reparation. We don't even have respect for the people who fought for their freedom. We don't have respect for them, you know. It is strange. The Grenadians are so funny, eh? It's strange. They're playing jab, but they claim it's our culture. With a manikou in their mouth. Just imagine a young man, manikou trying to leave, trying to survive. Somebody hold it, capture it and kill it. And put it in their mouth. With a cow hand on their head. Playing jab in the road, and that's nothing. Cruelty to animal is nothing to England here. They say it's our culture. I don't know who culture that is. That's not my culture. This thing is not my culture. So I don't know what we're talking about in this country. We are so double tongue and hypocrite in this country that's sinning. We are so out of place, brother. We need to check ourselves. We can't have this thing walking around the road, people in Carriacou abusing animals. You know. I'm talking about that's our culture. Pulling wild animals and playing jab with it. Snake and manikou and all kind of thing. And I mean, come on, bro. We're going too far, bro.
But you know it had to be started from somewhere.
We need to have a little bit of control on these people and them. You can't do what you want because of, you say, jab. The next thing, they go hold a little child in the mouth, and kill a child and put in the mouth and pass off on the shoulder.
I probably don't think it's going to go that far, though. I don't think so.
Well, how they going in it? I think it's far apart. I think that's not in my region.
I don't think we know. Sometimes you don't want to embed the thought in people's minds, but I don't think it's going to go that far.
I think what is Claire want to bring here? We cannot talk about reparation without respecting our Haitian brothers, because them is the one who fought what we're trying to get. Right. Them who really shed their blood, what we're talking about. So we need to have a little bit of respect for Haitian brothers, because them is the one that really pushed that.
All right, caller.
Fought for that.
Thank you so much, man.
Have a nice day, brother.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. 435. Taking a peek at the Facebook page comment section once again. Ernesto is saying Carnival should be fun and not X-rated. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning. I must say that many aspects of Carnival are very satanic. And human beings devaluing themselves to the level of devilish and satanic behavior, that should never be. That makes Carnival unhealthy, polluted, sinful, and destructive. This is why I do not participate in Carnival. The calypsos, some of them are rotten, they are corrupt, they are profane. and the behavior of people, I may still claim in contradiction to be a Christian society. Nonsense. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution, caller. Hope you have a great day and blessed weekend. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's entertain another caller. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Yes, Mr. Telesford, good morning. Mr.
Good morning to you.
Three things I want to mention. One, I want to really agree with Citizen Rulo when he spoke concerning the MIT minister. This gentleman, I don't know who he is, I just know his name, but I find it too aggressive in the statement he's making for, to compete for this general secretary. He sounds like if he's ready to devour the party and bring it down. Because this is a position he wants, and that's what he must get. I find his song too aggressive. He needs to cool down and to do what he's supposed to do and wait on the time. If, he sounds too aggressive. Secondly, there is an ad that I keep hearing that annoys me so much. It's on your station. It's an ad from the Planned Parenthood Association telling the young people of our nation that their body is theirs. Their future is in their hand. They could do what they want with their bodies. And this is so wrong because we are not our own. Our bodies are the temple of God. It's not our own. You as a Planned Parenthood, family planning, this is an organization that would encourage abortion. And so when you tell a young person your body is yours, your life is yours, your future is in your hand, you could do what you want. I think that's a very bad thing to be telling our young people in this country. Okay? And thirdly, it said that goes out of my head, so I think I'll stop here. But that ad, it must go. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Let's take some comments from the WhatsApp this morning. And this WhatsApper is saying, the question must be asked. If it wasn't for slavery, what would have been of us? As bad as slavery was, there were many blessings that derived. Well, folks may have a different opinion to you, whoever is making that comment there. So I hope someone may be able to decipher it a wee bit for us. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning to you, caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
And to your followers. A couple of things quickly. The Haitian situation, I think I mentioned about it last week. We have to be very careful. As much as we are concerned about the situation in Haiti, I do not think we would help Haiti by just helping them get rid of their people. You can't develop a country by emptying it out. You have to look at the source of the problem. So we can deal with the symptoms of the problem. What is the source of that problem? So I think that the right approach is to help the Haitians in Haiti. Some of them may be threatened, and some of them may have situations which I think they can articulate in a formal way, but just opening the doors to refugees does not help. It does not help. I think what people don't know, there is already a trickle. I said it last week. There are a number of Haitians here. Some of them are coming pregnant and having kids here who have become Grenadians. All they want, if you have this test group that come and they get through, then we have a wave. We don't want a wave. So we have to be very careful about how we approach these things, and we don't make them feel that the floodgates are open and folks will just come and they will be embraced. The same people who are talking about taking the Haitians are the same ones who complain about the 150, which the government can't afford to give people they refer to as being destitute. We can't give our people $150 more, and suddenly we want to bring more folks into such a situation. We have to be very, very careful. One thing about I heard some talk this morning about history and oppression and reparations and so. Now, JC, a car has a number of glass panels. Some of them are large, some of them are small. The largest one is the windscreen. One of the smallest ones is the rearview mirror. We won't make much headway. You won't make progress on the road JC, if you keep looking, most of your time looking back in your rearview mirror to places you already passed, we progress by looking forward through the windscreen and not in the rearview. In as much as the history hurts, it's painful, and we need to know it. If we spend too much time looking back, we would not go forward. We hear a lot of talk. I mean, let's face it, Australia and Canada and some of these countries, their history is different than ours, obviously. And the people who populate these areas didn't come from Africa. They were not enslaved. But you know, only now Australia is talking about having a republic, becoming a republic. They still have basically the constitution they had before, and it's working for them. The Americans fought with the British. They lost thousands of people. They fought for their independence, right? Today, they still work with the British. The history is different, but I'm saying that we spend too much time looking in a rearview mirror and blaming folks for who we are today when we have opportunities that are not exploited, and we have a wide windscreen in front of us that we can explore. Thank you very much. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning, caller. Appreciate it a whole lot. We drew for a break. We're taking that break, folks. Let's come back with more of your phone calls. That will certainly be our final segment when we come back after the break. Stay with us here on To The Point.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Macnic?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and the regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Last week,
Welcome back. It's just around 6 minutes before the top of the hour this morning here on To The Point. Just 6 more minutes left on today's program. Let's entertain our caller. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Doing pretty well. What about you?
Well, I'm fine, thank God. Anyway, Pele Dabo here. I think everybody knows the voice. I would just like to make a reference to something I heard, I think, in the previous segment where someone spoke about the building in Simon. Is Simon.
Well, Simoon is the individual actually say the name of the building is Simoon.
Right. No, I just like to how the building, well, I hate to say got its name, what was written on the building. Sometime ago, the Grenada Breweries Limited, where I was working, made a contribution to refurbish the Simon Cultural Center.
Yes.
The artist who did the painting did a mural on one of the sides of the building as you're approaching the pavilion, and he did a mural with the sea and the sun and something, and he wrote on the building Simon, S-E-A-M-O-O-N. And when I went up there, I spoke to him. I tell him, no. I said, look, the name of the place is Simon. Simon, similar to Simon Bolivar. And he said, no, well, the people tell him this part up here is Simon and the other part is Simon. Anyway, I left it at that. No, actually, I'm regretting it. I left it as that. So the building, what was written, I could categorically state, what was written on the building was a mistake. Because I was there, I handled the project for the Bureau, and then I got the guy to do the job for me. I think he lives I can't remember his name now. He lives somewhere in something park around Concord, Marigot area. So what was written there was incorrect, but it was such a beautiful mural with the sea and the moon and the clouds and the sky. I decided to leave it as that.
So you're going to take some blame for that?
Yeah. Secondly, as we approached our 50th anniversary of independence,
yes,
I've heard talk, and also with the idea of the reparation, and we should change people, we should change names of places, replace them with our local people, etc., etc., etc. But what I like to say first and foremost is that we should first and foremost get the names of places correct and the etymology or the story behind those names, like a female caller alluded to, can. So we could know and we could understand. A lot of our places, even the Simon has been anglicized to sound English, right? And people grow up with those names and they think that's the right names. Then we need to get, and for the TV stations in particular, the people reading the news, as I said, TV stations, they need to know that St. George's is the tongue of the St. George Parish. And Belmont is not in St. George's. Belmont is in St. George. And Frequente and Sargon and Dogarong Sugar Mill, they are in St. George. That is the parish. You hear this thing on the TV stations over and over and over. And I normally say to myself, well, Lord, the late T.C. Campbell must be turning in her grave. Because the things that are going on the TV station, in particular GBN, she would not have fast Miss Campbell. And I wonder if there is a news editor or something. Last night there was a big misspelling of cylinder, I think, yeah. There was a big misspelling of, and I wonder if people look at those things before you go on the news. If we start passing those information to the children that they say, look at the news, they'll take it and believe it's right. Some serious effort must be made to correct those mistakes because they have been repeated ad nauseum. Also, in terms of the anglicizing, that's the last one, Grand Roy is R-O-I. It's named after a big, it's not R-O-Y, sorry, not R-O-Y. It's R-O-I, named after a big or a great king. I've been trying to find out who is that big or great king, and I cannot find out. We need to get those things. I get the names of the places right and the stories behind them, maybe as a project leading up to the 50th anniversary of independence. So we get it good and clear, and we know what's going on. We could talk about Bathway instead of Bathway. That's another one, too. I mean, there are lots and lots of places where we anglicize the names or we just call them differently all of a sudden, and nobody cannot tell me, and I'm closing, how come Koto Meli end up to be Cotton Bailey? Have a pleasant day.
Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution this morning. Always interesting to listen to you. 435-2041. 435-2041. We probably can entertain just about one more caller on today's show. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
I'm learning. God is good. The people, the God in Romans chapter 1, chapter 5, verses 22. That we are flowing in the spirit. God is spirit. We walk in flesh. We walk in flesh. Walk in flesh. God said no place in the kingdom. So we walk in spirit. Put on the whole armor, the truthfulness, and we are truthfulness. Yeah? So that's what I've seen.
All right, caller.
I believe in the Bible, I put on the ground, but God, what is troubled, We need to know the right thing. We need to know the right thing. I'm learning. I teach children. I'm learning. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to learn.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, folks, it's straight up 10 a.m. and it's where we get set to wrap. Today is a program up to the point. It's a final edition for this week. Join us again next week for more editions of To the Point. That's where I say goodbye for today. Once again, thanks all who viewed, whether you've GBN TV or you're viewing via our Facebook page or YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being part of it. Those of you who called, thank you so much. Those of you listening via Classic 105, thank you so much also. Have yourself a great day, what's left of the day today, and a great weekend to come. That's where we say goodbye.